Hey, so we're back with another NECA Turtles review. It's been a little while since they had a new one drop, and the latest one out is from their Monster crossover. This dropped during the Haulathon, so it was kind of a surprise. It dropped, not that we didn't know this character was coming out, just that it was coming out so soon and Target exclusive. I don't recall seeing that initially. We did see the Phantom Casey announced after the Invisible Donnie, so we were kind of expecting to get Invisible Donnie before we got Phantom Casey. So a surprise, a pleasant surprise. Of course, like all NECA Turtle products, he sold out almost instantly, so he was kind of tough to get. But hopefully he'll start making his way to stores. I only got him through online when he came up. I didn't see him in stores yet, so he should be in Target now, if not very soon. Similar to how we saw that April Bride of Frankenstein drop and then just appear in stores a week or two later. So there's still a chance to get this guy for you if you're interested. But let's check out this box. As you can see, it has that really great cinema sort of style artwork on the front. This has been consistent with all the Turtles Monsters crossovers, where they have that great sort of cinematography look on the front of the old classic posters. And then on the back, they have these over-exaggerated call-outs of how scary or terrifying something is. So this was done in the style of those 30s and 40s Universal Monster posters, and it's been consistent through all of the characters you can see behind me here. The box art's just great, really love it, and I think that's a great reason to keep the box is because of that great poster style box art. And then they have the window here that opens up where you have your character on one side and the sort of character or toy photography on the other side. Again, with that Velcro clasp. Not a fan of the Velcro clasp. I wish they would just have a magnetic clasp. I think everything should just have a magnetic clasp. It's just easier. It looks nicer and it doesn't wear over time as drastically as these do. So that is our look at the box here. Why don't we check out this character though? These are always very easy to open. Just have a little sticker tab thing across the top. So not too troublesome. What is kind of difficult sometimes is getting this box top open without tearing it. So I'd like to use a pen and just kind of work my way in there to push it against the back wall to get it to unhook. Sort of, there we go, without tearing the cardboard. I don't know why I feel like this happens almost exclusively to me, but it happens. So there's always usually a background in here. I can't really see it when it's obscured by the character, but this just looks like some wood paneling or something behind here, which I think would have, or stairs possibly, the way it's shaped, which would have been the Phantom going down to his lair in the sewers. So that's the background they went with this one. So we have our character here, and looks like he has a cape too. So that's a fun addition to Casey because the baseline figure did not have a cape. He's going to be secured in here with some of those annoying little plastic tabs. So while I'm getting him out, you could check him out here in our 360. And you can see all that great detail where they brought Casey to life as the Phantom, essentially. I thought this was a natural sort of crossover for him, given that he wears the hockey mask. I also think Shredder could have worked as a Phantom because of his disfigured face and the mask, but I think they're saving Shredder for something else, so I'll talk about that in a moment. But you can see he's got that great old style look with the, it's not a bolo, but that weird little tie that he has on the front there. And he still has elements of Casey Jones, like his pants have that padding like they're hockey pants. He has that sort of shin guards on still, the knee pads. So he still looks like a hockey player, sort of like he did taken out of the film, but he has those elements of being a monster where they're sort of tattered clothing on him. But they did a great job of detail. You can see those holes in the back of his socks. And yeah, I mean, I really like the deco they did on Casey Jones here. And he has this really intense look on his face, and even his mask is a little scarier than the standard hockey mask. And it looks more molded, like you can see the brow line on there, so it looks a little bit more natural to his face there than the other his other mask. And he's got these kind of look like cleats almost, his shoes. So he had a lot of sports equipment on. That was kind of his thing. So they sort of kept that here too as the Casey Phantom. So let's see what he has. So immediately I know before I even get into it, he's going to have like 100 hands because this is NECA. That's what they do, is they give you your money's worth of hands. So he does have all sorts of hands. He has hands for gesturing. He has hands for holding weapons. And he has, you know, various grips for weapons. He has this padded right hand here. I think that this is for, obviously this looks like some kind of, I don't know, cricket mitt or something that he can wear on his arm. And then he has a guard here that he can wear in his left hand. It looks like a hockey goalie's glove, and I forget what that's called, the little pad blocker thing here. This one has spikes on it and a skull, so a little bit more themed for monster-like. So why don't we do that hand test we like to do here. NECA's the only one I usually have trouble with, so I like to do that twisting motion while we take it out, just to avoid breaking it, because this thing does break at the joint sometimes. I'm not a huge fan of that. This one has the joint on the inside here, so you just kind of slip it in. And there we go. That was pretty seamless. And now we got his hockey glove on there. In addition to what we just saw with the hands, he has an assortment of heads, which is great for Casey Phantom here. So we have a head here that has the mask partially broken off to that more traditional Phantom of the Opera sort of character look that we associate with him. So we'll switch this out. Now I can't really tell if this is the actor's likeness because the face is so disfigured. So if Elias Kotis here, it's hard to tell if that is him underneath because it's so disfigured. But that looks really great. I really like how the, I'll give you a close-up here of the face on him, but that looks really great. I really like how that turned out, and I'm really glad that they did that with the design, give you multiple faces here. So he has that, and then he has one more look, a all-skull Phantom head, which is interesting to go with an all-skull look. So you could switch it out and give him an even creepier look. And I think this is sort of, he wore a mask like this in the original Silent Phantom. He had a skull mask, so you could do that look as well. So that's kind of fun to include that. Let's not forget the cape. I put it over to the side here. The cape is an addition because Casey Jones did not have a cape in his original version. So this is just a fun little add-on here. And this has a, it looks like some kind of latch in the front. I'm not really sure how to open it though. So I guess what you have to do is take a head off. Then you could throw the cape on top. And it's got this great like velvet feel to it. And they even adjusted it where it has shoulders. So you could drape it over the shoulders here. They did a nice cutout to adjust for the shoulders. And you could put it right over the front and we'll give him the, I like this look with the half the head on sawed out there. So then you can give him his Phantom of the Opera look. So that's a little fun addition to it with the shoulder pads broken in there too. Very, very 80s, early 90s. So this is a fun cape. This is different than what NECA's done with their other capes. It also feels like it's got a little wire frame in it, so you can adjust it here and get a little bit shape out of the contours of the cape here. So it's a nice addition to it. And of course, he's going to have some weapons too, in addition to his hands and his heads. So we got, being it's Casey Jones, he comes with an assortment of hockey sticks. So he has a goalie hockey stick and he has a regular hockey stick. And that's basically all he has for weapons. So I don't think he needs much else. So you can give him that whole goalie look. I think this might be a goalie glove and not a cricket glove. So you could have a whole goalie look if you want, or you could have both of these giant mitts and then hold the goalie stick in the hand, which he doesn't do very well with these hands. So maybe this one here. Yep, so he could hold them like this, or you could put in an assortment of other hands and give him the small club as well. So like I do like I like to do with all of the crossovers, why don't we compare him to his base model based on the movie? All right, well, we got our Phantom here, Phantom Casey, and then we get our Ultimate Casey Jones. So a lot of similarities, a lot of differences. Obviously, the deco is the Phantom, completely different. He has similar weapons. These are just repaints of the ones that the Ultimate Casey came with, but he's missing a lot of the other Casey weapons. Casey had a case of weapons here. He had bats, he had a cricket bat, then he had this golf club that he fought Tatsu with. He had an additional mask that was just an off mask for display there. And then he had the alternative head with the actor's likeness on there as well. And then the assortment of standard NECA hands. You can see this Casey came with sweatpants and sneakers and just a shirt with a tear-off vest, cut-off sleeveless vest. But this Casey incorporated more elements of the character. So having the padding on here to make him look like he plays sports, the cleats, those are all hallmarks of Casey Jones, who had all the different sports equipment in the comics and in the 90s movie. So it kind of brings that element to the character, and that's what they did consistent with a lot of the characters, especially the ones we showed you. April, for example, had the elements of her newscasting in there. So it's just something they take of the character and make it part of the identity of the monster. Obviously, he added some other accessories that Casey didn't have, including the skull head, which I love here. Like I pointed out with the mask, the big difference here is they made this more contoured to the face. So you got like a brow ridge. It's more like it's an extension of him, like part of his face. It has a nostril, a grimace, a more natural look, whereas this looks like just a blank hockey mask, which it was. So they sort of changed those elements as well. But those are the major differences in the character, complete redesign here, incorporating some of the elements over to it. Still roughly the same height. Great character. I think he looks really great. I love this cape. This was a fun addition to it. If you missed him, unfortunately, he's out of stock. I don't think they're going to be restocking him online, but keep checking your Target. Targets have stocked Haulathon items infrequently. It's hard to tell which Targets, when, where. I saw online people finding everything from Haulathon in day one, or almost everything, before it started. And then some people found nothing, or some people will see it get dropped as it gets dropped online. I had that where I was seeing some stuff coming early, some stuff coming late, and some stuff not come at all. So it just depends on where you are and how frequently you check your Target, but you might be able to still grab this guy. I remember I missed April when she was up on Haulathon to order, but then I found her in the store. So April's the Bride of Frankenstein. So you just don't know. You just have to check, and you might get lucky and find this guy. I think he's a great addition. I think he's probably one of the better ones in the line, just because I love this face, and I just love his whole deco. It works for me more than some of the other characters did. So totally worth grabbing. Again, it was a surprise to see this guy before Donnie as the Invisible Man, because Donnie was announced first. But we should be seeing Donnie soon. You can see Donnie over here. And that will round out the turtle sets. And this guy, I believe, is the 7th in the line. Donnie will be the 8th. So we'll have the Turtles, we'll have April, we'll have Splinter, so all the core characters. So what are we missing? We're missing the bad guys. And we are missing some core Universal monsters. So first up, I think we're going to be seeing Dracula as, Shredder as Dracula. Just makes sense. He's the key bad guy. Dracula is always depicted as a key bad guy. I'm thinking like Monster Squad and other films where he's like the leader of the monsters. He has a cape, and he's the counterpart to Splinter, who Splinter is Van Helsing. So it makes sense. I think we even got a tease on the box where it talked about Splinter hunting Shredder or something like that on the Van Helsing box. It makes sense. So hopefully we'll see that announced soon. I can't wait to see what they do on the deco on that one. And then we have the Wolfman. So Razar, I mean, he's a wolf. It makes sense. Hopefully we'll see that with just some changed up deco. Maybe they'll incorporate some of that junkyard armor in there as well. And then Creature from the Black Lagoon. We have Toka. I mean, Toka is a sea creature, so it just makes sense. So hopefully we'll be seeing that announced as well. We usually get like 2 of these monster announcements a year. If anything, the trend over the last couple of years holds true. So hopefully we'll see those before the fall, but usually around Halloween you see the announcement when NECA does its 31 Days of Fright or whatever, and they show off give everyone pictures to keep of the existing lines. So we'll see if they make that announcement. Beyond that, there's not a lot of other characters they could do much with. They have the Foot, they have Danny, they have Super Shredder, and they have the newly announced Kino. They also have the Oroku Saki and Yamato Yoshi 2-pack. So those are all the film characters they could work with. I don't know what other characters they'd want to do. There's some lesser known Universal monsters. So the possibility remains that they could pick those up, but they need to get those core 3 in there. Dracula and the Wolfman are huge. We haven't gotten them yet. And then Creature from the Black Lagoon. So we have villain characters. Hopefully they start using them. So we'll see. But for now, great addition to the line. Worth picking up if you guys can. Glad I got a chance to show them to you. But this is all we got for today. Of course, like, subscribe, and follow. We'll be having more Turtle videos. We'll be having more Marvel videos. We'll be having a couple other lines I don't want to spoil yet. So keep checking back. We post a couple videos a week to show you guys something new, something exciting, or something popular. Never really know what we're going to sort of end up showing you guys next, so we're surprised too, so keep checking back for those. So take care, and we will see you guys next time.